Good morning, good morning. It's Feedback Friday, and those of you that are new to the page, I'm Cheryl Andrews, also known as the Listening Detective, and I'm all about helping you do more of what you love, delegate the stuff you don't, and ditch the critic that says you can't. And this week I've been away on retreat, ironically trying to work out how I can ditch the critic that says I can't write this book about do, delegate or ditch. I'm very pleased to say that by the end of the week I have now got a very, very clear plan and feel very confident of the next steps, and I'm really 100% committed to getting it done. It will just now be a time process of getting the writing done and getting it back to the editors and peer review. So with that all said and done, one of the things that has been going on for me personally, for my husband and I, is the talk of retirement. And something that happened probably about 5, maybe 10 years ago, we were talking to our financial advisor, and he was sort of wanting to retire at 55. And I said, oh, I'll be working till I was 80. And it was only when the financial advisors gave a graph and they said, you know, based on what you're earning now, this is how much money you need to save up. That means Mark can retire here at 55. And as long as Cheryl still keeps making the money she's making now, then that till she's 80. And it wasn't until I saw it in black and white that, you know, the plan, by saying I was happy to work till 80, that I was actually meaning that my family were depending on me working till I was 80, that I realised that perhaps I wasn't asking for what I wanted. And so what I've realised is that for me, is that I want us both at 55 to be able to not have to work. Thank you, Roz. Those who are not on Facebook, just put nice outfit, Cheryl. Thank you very much. I actually made the jewellery yesterday, which I'm so pleased with, which is a bit of my talk about retirement, really. So I'd love to know for you your views on retirement, Roz, because I'm just doing a bit of research. I'd like to interview 6 people who would like to know, you know, retiring well for you is like what, because I'd really like to know if there is a need or a want for a course or a program to be created where people can start to explore what they actually need and what they actually want from retirement. Because I know that I said I want to be able to work till I'm 80, and when I really clarified what I meant by that is I would love to be having interesting conversations with people. I would love to be taking people on retreats. I would love to be coaching people. But would I really want to be drawn into the social media thing that you have to keep showing up, you have to be constantly here, do you have to be doing this, you have to be doing that? And I was like, no, I do not want to be committing to that. I have to come on a Monday video at 8 o'clock and I have to do a Monday video at 8 or 9 o'clock. The have-tos would have been gone. And so there will no be this, I wouldn't be constantly marketing. Now, here's the interesting thing. Once I realised that's what would be happening in retirement, I was like, why can't that happen now? Why can't I rock up every single week and do my social media because it's what I want to do, because I want people to know that coaching's out there? Why don't I just rock up and not do it so that it's like, oh, have I got a customer? Is this working? Does anybody hear it? Does anybody care about what I'm saying? I do need to pay attention to feedback, obviously. But if I was to rock up and talk about the stuff that's passionate for me and it's inspirational, supportive, and it guides people to clean language facilitators and coaches so that they know that if they're stuck with this problem, this is a source of support that they could use. And it's kind of just been a bit of a brain fart, really, this week. I've been like, oh, I could do more. Then I did jewellery making yesterday, and I was like, do you know what? It was only 2 hours of my day. Obviously cost money. But I was thinking, if I had the tools and the time, you know, I want more time to do the fun stuff. So I'd love to know for you, retiring well for you would be like what? And if you're up for being interviewed, I want to find out what it is that, you know, what is it you look forward to? What is it you, if it was just the way you'd like it to be, it'd be like what? But, you know, perhaps what are the worries? What are the concerns? If people have already retired, I'd love to find out people who've retired, who are retiring well and really loving it. What is it that's happening? What's working? People who've retired perhaps and are not loving it. I'd love to know, get a range of people, a bit of diversity. I'd love to know what youngsters think about, you know, if someone in their 20s or 30s, what's their perceptions of retiring? What does that mean to them? Because I certainly think the models have changed in the last 30, 40 years. It was always sort of a given that, you know, women would retire at 60, men at 65. Now we're seeing people working 70s and 80s. And so What does it mean for you to retire? I'd love to know who's interested. So we have got gorgeous people here. Lisa got a chat with Paul Bennett. If he'd be up for a 20-30 minute interview, that would be lovely. We just need to record it, and we're going to be transcribing it because I'm working with a team of people who are collating whether or not there's a need or a want to provide a service where people can find out, resource and support themselves to retire well. So I'm looking to interview people to find out what kind of things might need to go in that programme, some themes that we might want to explore. So that'd be great if you could let me know if Paul is up for that. Roz has got, I'm practicing stroke pretending I've already retired. Any money earns is a bonus. If you're up for an interview, Roz, I would love to know about that. So other than that, that's it for me today. I'm a bit later than normal. Should have been 8 o'clock, but I made a conscious decision. I thought, you know what? I'm on retreat. I could get out and get on time. There was no reason I couldn't have been here at 8 o'clock. I could have chosen to stop my lovely conversation in the hot tub with Karen, and I could have been here with you. But the truth is, quite often I stay here at 8 o'clock and there's no one with me. But today I've rocked up a bit later, and the good girl in me says I was being naughty, and lovely souls are here with me. So that's absolutely gorgeous. It's lovely. So, it's a good example of, sometimes when you break your own rules, wonderful things happen. Julie McCracken, I haven't seen you for ages. Great idea, Cheryl. I have my financial freedom and work for the joy, satisfaction and legacy building. That is where I'm heading. And we are just 18 months away from that. We haven't got long to go, and our plan is on track. So I'd love to, if you're up for being interviewed, Julie, I would love to know a little bit more about your journey to get to where you are now and what's important to you about retiring, because I think there's lots of people out there. I literally just got an email from a client who I coached 4 years ago, who wanted to retire, but he didn't know why he wasn't doing it. He didn't know why he just didn't do it. And when we unravelled all the components, it's taken him time, but it's taken him the 4 years to get all the things in place that he needed. And now he's literally retiring this December. So it's just really serendipity that I've been asked about this retirement thing, whether I want to get involved with this project. Another client said it. And then, of course, I'm on that journey myself thinking about retiring. So without any further ado, that's 7 minutes, the shortest video I've ever done on Friday. Maybe I should retreat more often, and maybe I should come on these videos with a much clearer head than usual. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm off to Weymouth to meet my husband and Karen's husband. We're going to have some time together as couples, and then I'll be back raring to go Monday. I'll be here 9 o'clock on Monday, and I will be on time. But please have a great weekend and pass the word around. I need to get 6 people ASAP interviewed for the retirement stuff. Those who've said yes or interested, it won't be today, probably over the weekend or Monday morning. I'll drop you a message and try and compare diaries if you're up for it. Julie McCran says, I will not retire. I have some more goals. Fabulous. Well, if that's the case, if people that don't want to retire, I had somebody the other day say to me when I was talking about retirement, he goes, why would you want to retire? So that would be another perspective. And I think it will all come down to what is our definition of retiring. And I might even go look the word up in the dictionary shortly to find out more. So without any further ado, let me leave you with the 3 things. If you want to do more of what you love, delegate the stuff you don't, and ditch the critic that says you can't, you have to have clarity of what you mean. So in this case, what do we actually mean by retirement? What does it mean to you? It doesn't matter what it means to everybody else. It doesn't matter what it meant to your parents. It doesn't matter what it means to your partner. You personally, if you were retiring, that would be like what? And Julie says, well, it's never going to happen. Whatever her definition of retire is, it ain't going to happen. Then you have to have confidence in yourself and the process. You need to know what series of actions need to be taken to get you from where you are now to where you want to be, if you haven't already got it. And if things need to change, you have to understand what kind of support or resource you need, and more importantly, have the confidence to ask for it. And in my experience, in this modern day world where we're in the age of information, there is never a lack of a video, people like me rocking up and talking to you. There's never a lack of a success model, like 100 people of successful coaches, they do this, or hundreds of successfully retired people, they do this. You will never ever get a lack of information to read and listen to. All right, you are never going to get a lack of suggestions. If you complain about something to a friend, I bet they'll tell you, have you thought about this? Have you done that? But probably what you would get a lack of is some questions that help you clarify what you think, what would work for you, and what you really want. And I really think that our mental health is suffering, our relationships are suffering, and our performance is suffering because we're spending far more time listening to everybody else, and we don't actually know how to listen to ourselves, which is why I love clean language so much. transformed my life in 2008. It gave me access to parts of me I didn't even know existed, and it gave me the confidence to say, this is what I want to do and this is what I don't want to do, and to be able to set those boundaries with compassion and kindness rather than erupting like a volcano when I was exhausted and gone beyond my limits. So without any further ado, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. We'll be talking about Make It Happen Monday. What would you like to have happen? And I'll talk to you about whatever's come up for us over the weekend. Speak to you soon. Bye.